End in sight. Streaming now.
Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to News 9 Live. We're bringing you this special broadcast of the Cricket Carnival as India chases their World Cup dream this year in 2023 from our studios here in the National Capital Region. Now, the Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium is in Ahmedabad. It's all set to host the final of the 2023 Cricket World Cup. Hosts India taking on five-time champions Australia in the final. Now, the Indian team led by Rohit Sharma has till now had an undefeated run at the World Cup and will be looking to extend the run to clinch their third World Cup title. The match will be attended by Prime Minister Modi, the Australia's Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles. He's also going to be in attendance. But importantly, the Indian team has arrived at the stadium for what is expected to be a high-octane clash. Fans have gathered outside the stadium from last night itself as the craze for cricket continues. We will bring you voices of the fans. We will bring you live reactions. My colleague and senior editor Meha Bhardwaj-Walter and senior cricketing journalist, sports journalist Chetan Narula, they are outside the Ahmedabad stadium in Ahmedabad. We will cut across to them. Meanwhile, joining me here in the studio for this broadcast is Jamie Alter, cricket analyst, with his expert opinions on what is happening. Jamie, right at the forefront, our batting seems to be in song, bowling seems to be in fire. The Invincibles this time around season. What are you expecting? Are you excited? Just a couple of minutes left before the first delivery.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, Kabir, I mean, look, this is unprecedented in the sense that I had no doubt that India were sure shot semi-finalists, and I was fairly confident of them not having a bad time or not choking this time around. But to be here 10-0, you know, the only unbeaten team in the World Cup. We've never seen this in the history of Indian cricket. Past Indian teams have gone into semi-finals unbeaten. We saw this in 2015. But what happened at the SCG 8 years ago was something that many Indian fans will not remember fondly. What we're seeing here is just a very confident, a very in sync with the times, in sync of what is required in these home conditions. And let's accept it. Had this World Cup been somewhere else, India probably would not have been this dominant. This is a team that has really made the template, sealed it, given it its own patent, and this is virtually unbeatable. There's a reason why in the last 8 years, only one team has managed to win a series in India. And it's no coincidence that team is the one facing India today. So I feel this is the best final we could have wanted. The two most deserving teams, the two most well-oiled teams, the two teams with the best record in this World Cup. I know many people will say, look, this is probably the team that many Indian fans will be wary of because, you know, 8 times in the final, five-time winners, Australia, all that stuff. Logical, valid to a certain extent, but I just feel India, given how excellent they've been, you know, and let's face it, 6 matches without Hardik Pandya, how big a boon was his injury to the Indian team, because what they got in return is the leading wicket taker. So all these factors and more that I'm sure Chetan and Meha will add on lead me to believe this is going to be India's day.
Right, absolutely. Usually when you're looking at a team sheet, it's only a couple of players to look out for, but here you've got an 11, a playing 11 that, and everybody is to look out for. Meha, it seems, is with us outside Ahmedabad Cricket Stadium, Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium. Let's quickly cut across, go to Ahmedabad. A lot of people in the blue jersey over there. Everybody's quite literally bleeding blue. Meha, over to you. What's the mood like right now? You've been speaking to a lot of people. Chetan also joins us.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kabir. It is a sea of blue, rather an ocean of blue. I'm borrowing that phrase from Chetan because that's what we've seen at the Narendra Modi Stadium from the time we've come in. And by the way, it was crowded. You know, there were jams all the way till here. It took us almost 1.5 hours to get to the Narendra Modi Stadium. But now that we are here, the moment, the occasion, it doesn't get bigger than this, really. India in the finals of a World Cup at home. This is the first time in the last 12 years. We all remember 2011 World Cup final and what happened there. But this is different. The way in which India have dominated in this tournament, that has obviously given 1.5 billion people the belief that they'll go on to win this one. Of course, we don't want to put the mockers on them, but I have a few fans here. Chetan also joins me here, so we both will be reporting from here. But yes, few fans here. They've flown from Gurgaon today, and I just wanted to get a sense of what they are feeling, and how quickly they got the tickets and how they got there. So there is Arav, there is Suryansh, and that is Virat. So let me start then with these kids and ask them how they're feeling. What is it like to have been, to make the trip here, and what are you looking forward to?
It's been really exciting, and I'm blessed to be here. So this wonderful occasion. So India's in finals. So it's been a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to the victory. Okay. Yeah.
So Virat, your namesake has just come this side. Virat, your namesake has just got to 50 ODI centuries now. Do you feel like a sense of connection with Virat Kohli because your name is Virat too?
I do actually, because whenever I go to many places, let's say I go to a coffee place and I say my name is Virat, they'll be like Virat Kohli. So it's kind of quite irritating at once, but now I just feel proud that I'm named after such a great and successful player who's making our country proud.
Okay, so like I said, there are fans, and there are a lot of fans here. People, the stories that we've heard since the time we've arrived here, Chetan and I were exchanging notes. There are people who've just taken a flight without a hotel confirmation all the way from the UK just to be here. There are people, like I said, who paid, I think there was one guy who had paid £3,000 just to get a ticket here at the Narendra Modi Stadium for this final, not even counting how much he would have paid for the flight and the hotel tickets, but that's just been the vibe here. People just want to get here. All roads lead to the Narendra Modi Stadium. Chetan, you've covered the World Cup in 2011 and of course 2015 and 19. How different is this?
Oh, this is massive compared to 2011, Meha. Wangkhere, it was at the Wangkhere. We had to get in at 10 a.m. There were lines too far back at the Wangkhere. Similar in that sense that, we saw so many people coming in, streaming in. Yeah. But this seems like a bigger occasion. That was happening after 20 years. Again, a drought of 10, 12 years this time around as well. But it's just the sheer number of fans. Wangkhere, 35,000 people? This is 5 times that, 150,000 people who can get into that ground. And there are so many more, I think almost equally outside the ground as well. So, like you said, it's not a sea of blue today here. It's an ocean of blue. And I remember after India had won in 2011, we were all there at Marine Drive. Strangers just dancing, chanting, Sachin, India, India. Today, it's going to be equally mad if Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Shami take us to that World Cup win. Can't wait, just can't wait. Such a great day.
Yeah. Which is exactly what we've been talking about. Why this becomes even more exciting for us as Indians. And I'm just going to, get that journalist hat off me and be a fan for today because of how big an occasion this is. Let me tell you, when I was flying to Ahmedabad last night, our flight had somebody playing Lehra Do, Vande Matram on boombox, and people were just chanting and cheering Bharat Mata Ki Jai. And it was very organic in the way people were just, it almost seemed like they were all in this together. And a bit of a war cry, if one can call it that. But yes, that's the kind of feeling, that's the vibe that one feels here as soon as you get to Ahmedabad. Yes, Chetan.
And people are not just flying directly to Ahmedabad. They just want to reach Ahmedabad somehow. So they're taking trains, they're riding in cars and buses. I flew to Vadodara and I flew on Friday, and even my flight was full of people who are going to Vadodara, they're going to rest, and today morning or yesterday evening, they were all driving down to Ahmedabad. So this is the center. This is the center of the cricketing universe today. All roads lead to Ahmedabad. Everybody just wants to be here. Somehow, just somehow, you have to reach here.
Okay, now there seems to be a problem because remember what we are standing outside. We are standing outside the VIP gate. So there's a lot of VIP movement here, and we're on the side of the road, and there seems to be a jam right up ahead. So we almost had to move the camera, and then yes, are we back? I think we are. But that's just how crazy it's been getting. Though Chetan, just talk about the two teams. We've said that these two teams deserve to be in the final because of how good they've been. But for India, if there's one team they would be slightly wary of in a final is Australia, given how good Australia have been. They know more than a thing or two about how to win finals.
Absolutely, Meha. And before the tournament started, we were talking about how bad Australia were. And they went to South Africa. They played in India. They did not win too many games. It was tough to identify with that Australian team. And throughout the tournament, we just kept talking about, it takes one spark for this Australian team to find itself. And that's what happened in Lucknow. It happened in Lucknow. That rain break against Sri Lanka and the tables turned. The team that went inside that dressing room at the rain break and the team that came out of that dressing room, they were really two different sides. And since then, Australia has not looked back. You're absolutely right. They won 8 games in a row, right? And this Australian side is the only dangerous side for India in this entire tournament. 10 versus 8. It's a rematch from 2003 in every way possible, because at that time, Australia were on that winning run. India had won 8 or 9 games getting to the final, and they had only lost to Australia in the league stage. So from that perspective, it's just tables have turned. But just like Australia would have been wary of the Indian threat in 2003, today India needs to be wary of the Australian threat 20 years later.
Okay. So now, why are you all looking so glum? Come on, we can have a cheer
Chan,
for
come
India.
on.
Yeah, let's go India!
Let's go India!
India! Let's go! India! 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 India!
So let's keep the chant going. But as we continue to have this conversation, I'm going to try and get more fans here. Let's also listen into what some actors have had to say about this final. Anupam Kher, I'm told, he has spoken about the final. Diana Adalji, former Indian captain, she has spoken about what she's expecting from the final. So let's just listen to some of those people and then come right back to us.
तो दोस्तों, आज भारत ऑस्ट्रेलिया वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल है। दिल धड़क रहे हैं, दिलों में जोश है। इसके लिए चंद लाइनें पेश हैं कि जीत के लिए जुनून चाहिए, जीत के लिए जुनून चाहिए, आत्मविश्वास रगों में खूब चाहिए। ये आसमां भी आएगा जमीन पर, बस इरादों में जीत की गूंज चाहिए। तो भारत की जीत पूरे विश्व में सुनाई देगी आज जब हम वर्ल्ड कप जीतेंगे, 100% जीतेंगे। जय हिंद, जय भारत, जय भारतीय क्रिकेट टीम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। सरस्वती महाभागी विद्या कमलोचनी वेशरूपी विश्वाला की विद्यादिमदी सरस्वती शारदा च मुखिताता सरस्वते नमस्तस्य नमस्तस्य नमस्तस्य। जय हो। ओम नमः शिवाय।
Yes, it definitely is a very big day for us. After 2011, we have entered the finals again in 2023. And the way the team is performing, all 11 players are performing together, which is a very good sign for us, whether it's batting, bowling, fielding, and against Australia also, it's a good game. I hope we have a good game of cricket, but when we cross the line, I would love India to cross the line.
Okay, another Indian fan is here with us. Somebody who we want to talk to. So let's go straight to her. आप यहाँ पे मैच देखने आए हैं, कहाँ से आए हैं?
मेरा नाम स्वाति संगानी है। मैं पंजाब से हूँ, जालंधर से, पर मेरी शादी जो है अहमदाबाद में हुई है। ये जो नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम है, इसने हमें एक ऐसी पहचान दी है। इससे पहले जब मैं किसी को बोलती थी कि मेरी जो शादी है वो अहमदाबाद में हुई है, तो लोग बोलते थे बहुत दूर चली गई, दूर चली गई। पर जब से ये नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम की जो स्थापना हुई है, उसके बाद हमें एक ऐसी पहचान मिली है कि हम गर्व से कहते हैं कि हमारा घर जो है वो नरेंद्र मोदी में नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम के पास है, तो लोग इतना प्राउड फील करते हैं, वो भी बोलते हैं कि हम जब भी स्टेडियम में आएंगे तो तुम्हारे घर आएंगे। इसने हमें एक अलग ही पहचान दी है।
बहुत बढ़िया। और आप इनको भी मैच दिखाने ले जा रहे हैं?
जी हाँ, ये बच्चे जो है यही हमारे देश का भविष्य है। मैं इसे अभी से दिखाना चाहती हूँ कि अपना भारत जो है किस तरह से अन्य देशों से जो वो अलग है। हमारे भारत ने किस तरह से पूरे विश्व में जो है अपनी पहचान बनाई है, ताकि ये भी बड़ी होके एक मिसाल बने सबके लिए। इसलिए मैं अभी से इसको ये सब दिखाना चाहती हूँ।
बहुत बढ़िया। हम यही उम्मीद करते हैं कि ये भी बड़े होके स्पोर्ट्स वुमन बने, देश का नाम रोशन करे, और उसी के साथ आज का मैच आप लोग एंजॉय करिए। चलिए, let me also, I think Jamie must be feeling a little lost, little left out. So let's also get Jamie involved in this conversation. Jamie, first of all, let's just put it out there. We are here and you're there.
Yes, I know. That had to come at some
Jamie?
point. Enjoy. Yes, I can hear you. The jealousy has hit new levels. Seeing the both of you there outside the stadium and doing all these vox pops. So enjoy. You both deserve it.
Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about the tactics, strategy, Jamie. One of the things is that we've been talking about how at the Narendra Modi Stadium, it's the power plays that are important when both these teams are superb in the power plays. India dominating the World Cup in that phase and Australia coming a close second. How do you see that panning out, and what are you expecting teams to do if they win the toss today?
You have to bat for reasons outlined on this show by all three of us and others across other platforms. Very, very obvious to my mind. This is a bat first track. We've seen, albeit the sample size is very small when it comes to ODIs at this specific venue, there's a lot of IPL matches that have been played here. Runs can be scored up front, runs can be chased rather easily here, but that's during the IPL, which is April, May. That's the end of India's domestic season. We're here now just a week or so after Diwali. It's sort of like the first month or almost the second month of India's traditional domestic season. This is also an ICC event, so the nature of pitches are not so straightforward. I think, look, India have Rohit Sharma, who's led admirably with the bat. He's got of his 550 odd runs, I believe 334 have come in the power play, and that just underlines how excellent he's been. He's got Shubman Gill as a partner, someone all three of us yesterday discussed what would his role be. Would he fall back? Would he match Rohit? So I think, and it is one more team which has done so well in the power play. It's Australia, primarily because of David Warner. So looking at Rohit, looking at David Warner, looking at what Travis Head potentially could do, looking at what Shubman Gill potentially could do at his most favorite ground in India, the Narendra Modi Stadium, it's going to be a run-filled 10 overs, whether India bat first, whether Australia bat first. It also, the more the toss nears, I get a feeling this match could be decided in the first hour, irrespective of who bats first. It's just one of those tracks, one of those days.
Yeah. I think you're right when you say that, Jamie. But the other thing I also feel with this Indian team is that bat first or chase, they've been so good that I don't know whether conditions, and I don't often say it because I'm a totally bat first kind of a person throughout this tournament. I've said, listen, when in doubt, just bat. Don't try to chase because it's just easier. But in a final, of course, everybody wants you to bat first. Having said that, if between the two teams I see a team being able to adapt to the conditions, even chasing today, it is India. Let me put that across to Chetan as well, and whether he agrees to this.
Well, Meha, you've converted me throughout the tournament. I am a totally bat-first guy today. Yeah. It's a huge occasion. I would not want a repeat of 2003 final. I love Zahir Khan, but, he got a little bit nervous and the game just went away from us. But, just talking about today, the kind of pitch that is, going to be used, it's pitch number 5. It was used for the India-Pakistan game. Yes. And we saw in that pitch, it has a bit of a rugged surface, slower pitch. And Rohit Sharma spoke about the fact that after the first 20 overs in both innings, the ball went a little soft, so it was that much harder to hit. And that's what we saw in the first 20-25 overs in the Pakistan innings. They had the best passage of batting. Even when India was batting, Rohit Sharma had the best time out there. And later, last 50 runs, yes, Rahul and Iyer were there, but it was a little bit sluggish. So that is what is in my mind. Now, yesterday evening, they were rolling the pitch, and they watered the pitch yesterday, and they were rolling it nicely. They rolled that pitch really nicely, so you can think that it is good for batting in both innings. But in a World Cup final with 150,000 behind your back, you want to bat first, put some runs on the board, and then put the Aussies under pressure. But, like you said, India, even if they lose the toss and they are chasing, they would want to back them because they know these conditions better than Australia.
Okay, let's also now listen to some of the fans about what they have to say about this big final and come right back.
और आज जब क्या लगता होने वाला है?
इंडिया जीतने वाला है।
कैसा लग रहा है आज मैच इतना?
सर पूछिए ना।
ऑस्ट्रेलिया का फाइनल मुकाबला है जिसमें सुमन गिल और विराट कोहली दोनों की सेंचुरी आने वाली है। मोहम्मद शमी वापस पंजा मारेंगे आज। जिस तरह से वो फॉर्म में चल रहे हैं गेंदबाजी में, आज ऑस्ट्रेलिया की धज्जी उड़ा देंगे।
सर इंडिया 2003 का बदला आज अवश्य लेगा और 100% लेगा और उसी अंदाज में लेगा। जैसे नागिल का बदला होता है ना, उस प्रकार आज बदला लिया जाएगा। ऑस्ट्रेलिया को नाको चने चबा दिया जाएगा। वी आर एक्साइटेड वेरी मच। वी ऑल आर फैमिली, फ्रॉम फैमिली वी आर वन। आज इंडिया और भारत को सपोर्ट करना है, इसके लिए हम सब आए हैं। भारत 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 माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की।
आज हम दादा का बदला लेंगे 2003 वाला। ठीक है, हमने सेमीफाइनल में धोनी का बदला लिया था, आज हम दादा का बदला लेंगे 2003 का। जीतेगा भी जीतेगा, इंडिया जीतेगा। वंदे मातरम, वंदे मातरम, भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय।
Very excited. Today is a great day for India.
So what are your predictions for the day?
Oh, winning, of course win. India will win.
India.
Okay, we're live and we've got more fans here. I don't know why they're being all coy. None of them want to come on camera, but here we are.
No, here we are. जीतेगा जीतेगा इंडिया जीतेगा।
So where are you guys from, and did you have to make crazy travel arrangements like that?
Yes. It's been what? It's been an hour since we have left, and we just reached here. We're still figuring out to enter from this side because we got tickets off north end and we are here at the south end.
And what are you expecting from today's game? Because both these sides have been so good in the tournament, especially India and of course Australia, and the way they sort of rose up the table. What are you expecting from this?
So we're expecting India to bat first, and we're expecting nothing less than 350 on the boards.
And it has to be a one-sided game. We don't want any thrilling encounter. It has to be a one-sided game.
Why is
like Pakistan.
So no thrill.
No thriller. We don't want to have our heartbeats up. We just want a one-sided World Cup. That's it.
Now, one of the things that we were talking about before this final was that everybody in the top 5 has got 100 except Shubman Gill. This happens to be his home ground because he plays for Gujarat Titans. You are Gujarat boys. So
Shubman should be man of the match for today's game.
He's the only guy left out of the entire squad to be the man of the match. So he has to be. Yeah. So today is Shubman's 100 and hopefully Virat's 51st. Maybe.
How impressed have you been with the other local boy, Mohammad Shami, who also plays for Gujarat Titans, and how, I mean, he's right.
I don't have words to describe the way he has performed after drop for first 3 matches. Yeah.
He could have been at 30 wickets. That is what I believe. And highest till date in the World Cup.
So you're part of that group that's calling Hardik Pandya the man of the tournament?
You can say so. That's fine.
So there you have it. And this is the vibe that we've seen throughout. Since we've landed here in Ahmedabad, it really is fans, Indians, the country as a whole, just supporting this team. And I tell you why it's so collective. Of course, it's India in the final, and rightfully so. but I also feel it's an Indian team that hasn't put a foot wrong throughout the World Cup. That's where this fan following comes from. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out. So yes, and I think that's the other thing, that not only is this team doing well, they've just been so dominant in the way that they played, that all the doubters, naysayers have all vaporized. They've all gone poof. It's only the fans and a country as a whole that wants India to win the World Cup. Chetan, there are now reports coming that because it's a slow wicket, Ashwin might play.
Yeah, there's a chance that Ashwin might play. He came out and he was looking at the pitch. He was studying the pitch. And Rahul Dravid was with him and Ravindra Jadeja was with him. But now, from what I'm hearing, is that Mohammad Siraj has marked his run-up. Shami and Bumrah had already marked their run-up. So unless and until India going 3-3, or unless India is dropping one spinner, I don't see Ashwin playing. If you're going with two spinners, you don't want to change what has happened, what has gone well for you throughout the tournament. That's Ravindra Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav. So from that perspective, keep on playing the same team. I really don't want to see any changes until something untoward happens. And fingers crossed, hopefully nothing will happen like that.
Now, I'm just a little distracted because there is a jam and we might have to move this our location, but till we're asked to, we'll continue to have this conversation. Jamie, what is it that you're hearing sitting there in terms of, are there going to be any changes to the playing 11 for both the teams?
Got multiple windows open as well as hearing your updates. So far, yes, Ashwin has had a bit of a look at the pitch, same as Chetan said. But I mean, I'm not reading or seeing or hearing anything. I've asked a couple of people on WhatsApp, but I guess they also must be on jammer patrol as well because they haven't replied. Again, yes, there's some merit for Ashwin playing if the track is going to be slower. He's got a fantastic record against Australia. He's dominated Warner. He's dominated Head. He's dominated Smith across formats. But you just pluck someone who hasn't played for 9 games, I'm not so convinced. So I would like to see Mohammad Siraj just given that one more match. Yes, he was abject in the last match, but he's been a very vital cog in this superb 3-prong pace attack. So I would like to see him rewarded. And like I mentioned, he knows what to do in the toughest matches. Asia Cup final, Border Gavaskar Trophy, second test, third test, and that fourth test at the Gabba 2.5, 3 years ago. So I would really hope that they stick with Siraj and not take the temptation of playing Ashwin, because two pacers, that can really backfire.
Okay, let's also talk about then, if it is a slow pitch, the importance of someone like Ravindra Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav, because I have a feeling that if there is one bowler that Australia might try to go after, that is Kuldeep Yadav, because of just the difference. Ravindra Jadeja is is not very easy to take him on. How do you see that panning out, especially with their middle order? The Steven Smiths, the Marnus Labuschagne on this pitch. How important would be for India to just sort of get them to stop or get them to slow down and not being able to score runs?
Meha, it takes me back to the first game India and Australia played. That was in Chennai, and that was a slow pitch, a slow turner, a low turner. From that perspective, it was important for Indian spinners to get on top. And when that happened, immediately the Australian dressing room or the Australian batsmen, they completely lost it. It was a mentality thing. The pitch was turning, and suddenly, even the best batsmen in their sides, I mean, look at Steve Smith, the way Jadeja bowled him, he was like, oh my God, I can't do anything about it. So from that perspective, it's important that if it's a slow pitch, it plays on the minds of the Australian batsmen. And if you put them on the back foot and the ball is turning, then you can't really get away. Talking about Jadeja, he's going to get that natural variation off the pitch, so it's going to be very, very unpredictable. And Australia have a mixed sort of an experience of playing Kuldeep Yadav. They have hit him in the past, but this is a Kuldeep Yadav who's very, very different. Even if he takes a beating, and we've seen that thrice in this tournament, every time he's taken a beating, he's come back a better bowler in the second spell. So from that perspective alone, even if there are two spinners, with the control that the pacers are going to provide, I think this is a wholesome Indian bowling lineup. Just that slow pitch might impact Australia mentally.
Okay, so we are standing outside, almost a kilometer outside the stadium. We have no idea what is going on inside the stadium, but if Jamie is following what's going up, Jamie, tell us more, tell our viewers more, what is happening. insight in terms of, what the host broadcasters is showing, what's going on?
I think it's about time that Air Force Sky Surya Kiran show is about to start. I believe 1:30, 1:35 is that. But look, Siraj is playing this match for a long time. He and Ashwin were there, and then apparently they hugged each other, and off went Ashwin. And like Chetan said, this was about the time when he was marking his run-up. So all signs are that it was a very, very late call. But as expected, Ashwin is out and Mohammad Siraj is there. I'm not able to watch visuals of what's happening inside the stadium because I'm here on this show as well. But I'm sure, like David Warner said about 45 minutes ago, it's a sea of blue. And I'm very, very keen to see how many yellow jerseys the both of you can spot when you go back inside that ground, because I don't think there's going to be too many. Have you seen any outside the ground?
No, I don't think there are too many. We haven't seen any, not at all. We've not seen any yellow jerseys. Have you spotted any yellow jerseys? I haven't.
The only yellow jerseys I spotted were on the pavements. People were trying to sell them off. Nobody's buying that today. But I expect a few Australian fans who are flying in from Kolkata coming in. Yeah. So maybe out of 132,000, maybe 100 might be Australian, but they won't be visible today. Yeah.
So that's the other thing. We guys were almost on the side of the road. We've just been shifted up onto the sidewalk because of how jammed up this whole place is. So there's a huge traffic jam, and I mean, it's expected. Also, like I said, this is the entry for the players as well as media and the VIPs. So a lot of cars going in now, with several dignitaries expected to be part of this show. You're just going to see more and more cars just coming in and causing this jam. So yes, yes. Do you wanted to add to that?
Just talking about the dignitaries, I think the past World Cup winning captains. I think that is they're going to have a parade. I mean, apart from Imran Khan, all of them are going to be there. MS Dhoni is expected today, so that's going to send the crowd absolutely wild. Kapil Dev is going to be there. Clive Lloyd is going to be there. Ricky Ponting already part of the commentary team. So it's going to be amazing just watching those former captains who won the trophy, being paraded around in front of full house.
Okay. You know what I'm going to do? We're just about to get the toss. So Chetan's going to find out what's happening because I think Australia won the toss. And okay, Australia won the toss and they've decided to field first. Let me just put that across to Chetan to ask him what he thinks.
Well, interesting choice from Pat Cummins. It goes to show that there is nothing wrong with the pitch, that Australia on this pitch is not afraid of chasing, and also they might think that the dew factor would come into play in the second innings. But most importantly, I think all the pitch talk can stop now. Australia doesn't think that there's anything wrong on chasing on this pitch. So from that perspective, India, I think I'll just have to wait and watch what Rohit Sharma says, but I think it's a boon for India. I would have wanted India to bat first, put a total on board, and then try to defend it with 150,000 people behind your back.
You know what? There's somebody who's been doing this. He's been painting people's faces. आप क्या सबके कितने के अभी तक आपने face paint कर दिए हैं?
400 रुपए। 400।
कितनों को किया है?
बहुत लोगों को कहा है।
कितने बहुत सारे लोग करें तो आप मेरा भी यहाँ पे कर दीजिएगा। हाँ अभी कर दीजिए। So as he paints this on me, come here. हाँ जी इधर आके. As he paints this on my hand, let me go across to Jamie and ask him what he thinks of the toss, because I think he's going to be one happy man, given that throughout this tournament he said, boss, win the toss, bat first. When in doubt, bat first. Kuch bhi lage, bat first. So, Jamie, this is advantage India?
Absolutely. I was just about to inform the both of you that the toss had taken place and Australia had decided to field. And that's when Chetan opened his phone and he also gave the same news to all our viewers. And I tweeted, while you all were speaking and getting that lovely boy's reaction, I just hopped onto Twitter, or X as it's called, and I saw the first tweet that popped up was from cricket.com.au's handle, saying that we have won the toss and chosen to field. And I replied to them saying, shabash, with a smiley face. Look, a very, very bold call. Like Chetan said, I mean, they have calculated certain factors in choosing to put India in. Why you would want to put the best batting team in is something I'm going to grapple with. But again, I have no allegiance to Australia. I could really care less about how their campaign ends up. This is India's day. I believe India are the better team. They have the edge, and this is a massive start for India. They just need to not break from script. The only possible scenario where they break from script would be if a couple wickets fall early and Rohit Sharma is still there. All he has to do is look back to Lucknow when he faced about 105, 110. I'm not sure how many balls it was, 100 plus deliveries for that match setting 87. When you have that skill, where you're able to break from something that's working so well for you and fall back on a template that's gotten you three one day double centuries, you are a very, very fine batsman in fine nick. So advantage India. See off Hazelwood, see off Stark. Look at Pat Cummins. Look what he can do, and then you're into two spinners, who perhaps could be perceived, despite the obvious threat of Adam Zampa. I think Adam Zampa and Glenn Maxwell are both going to go for a lot of runs today. So, well done, Pat Cummins, for choosing to put India in.
Yeah. Okay, just as Jamie, Surya Kirans, we could, I don't know if you heard that, but those are, that's the Surya Kiran acrobatic team. हाँ, रुको. इधर बताओ, इधर आओ, यहाँ पे खड़े हो मेरे पास. तो आपका नाम क्या है?
दिलीप.
दिलीप ने यहाँ पे ट्राइकलर मेरे तिरंगा यहाँ पे हाथ में बना दिया है. और दिलीप, आप वेट करोगे कि आप अभी दूसरे लोगों को भी और पेंट करोगे ना? तो मैं आपसे, आप करिए, मैं आपसे उसके बाद में बात करती हूँ. और आप जाके ये भी अभी देखेंगे जो ये क्या क्या करेंगे, आपको क्या क्या बताया है यहाँ पे कि ये क्या होगा.
ये दिल बनाएंगे और उसके बीच में से ना एक है ना बलून निकलेगी.
अच्छा, तो आप उसके लिए जाइए. इसके लिए बहुत बहुत थैंक यू, है ना. और मैं अभी आपसे, जैसे ये शो खत्म होगा, आप जाइएगा नहीं, मैं आपसे मिलती हूँ. Okay, so there you go. Like I said, the whole ceremony has begun. We're standing outside, but I think we were discussing the toss, and as Jamie also said, it is really advantage India. Let's also find out, because while I was getting this beautiful tricolor painted on my hand, Chetan was looking at what Rohit Sharma and Pat Cummins said at the toss. So let's find out what he said.
And the Surya Kirans coming back. Oh my God, love that show. I mean, they're just looking so beautiful.
We'll try to get them. It's a little difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it's flown past it, but I've seen that at football games. I've seen that at Formula One races. The first time I'm watching this at a cricket ground, and what a day! What a day to put up this air show. Brilliant show from the Surya Kirans immediately after the toss. They just timed it perfectly. But yeah, talking about the toss, Rohit Sharma, as suspected, Rohit Sharma saying that he would have liked to bat first, you know. And that's what India has done, in the last 4-5 games. They've made it a habit that they're going to bat first, they're going to put runs on the board. Now look at what Pat Cummins has said. He said that, oh my God, another fleet of the Surya Kirans coming in. So yeah, flying past in the other direction now. So yeah, beautiful from the Surya Kirans. So yeah, while we're trying to capture that, Pat Cummins, what did he say at the toss? Pat Cummins said that, dew might be a factor, and it gets better to bat under lights here. And now, the two games where it did get better to bat on was England-New Zealand and then Australia-England. England played 2 matches here, and Australia have had experience of batting here, so they probably felt that, those games, we saw that perhaps perhaps it's better to bat, under lights. So the thing with that is that they're using a different pitch from those two games. This pitch, India-Pakistan, India did win under lights as well. So two different school of thoughts. But again, it showed that
Australia have won the toss in the final. Australia have opted to field first in the final, as Pat Cummins put it. Well, Australia is going to have a bowl first. And at the same time, these are visuals of the Surya Kiran, the air show, taking in the spectacle above the Narendra Modi Stadium. You've seen it, like Chetan Narula was just telling us, you've seen it probably happen at Formula One exposes. You've probably seen it happen at grandstand football matches from the bleachers. But here at the stadium, at the cricket final, the Cricket World Cup final. There's a proper air show that's happening, 130,000 people. Not a lot of Australian supporters there, let me tell you, but a full-blown air show that has been put out for all the people, for all the viewers. People watching it from atop their residential roofs, people watching it from the stadium, it's almost like a festival in Ahmedabad today at the Narendra Modi Stadium. India taking on Australia. Both teams remain unchanged. Let's quickly cut across back to my colleague Meha, who gets us all the latest details from right outside the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Meha, over to you.
Oh my God, I just got goosebumps. There were 3 of those Suryakirans that just flew right above us. And the sound of it and just the movement, it was incredible. You saw the visuals of that, but it's a different feeling standing here outside the stadium underneath those Suryakirans. And there are more now, I can see. I think I'm sorry. This is we're going to be slightly distracted because of just how beautiful this is to watch. But just coming back to the occasion itself and why this is so special is because of that yes, it is a World Cup final and we're all building up to this World Cup final. Yes, it is a World Cup final and you know, there are people, the whole country is going to be watching the World Cup final, but it's also a celebration of sorts of how good this team has been, of what India has done in this World Cup, and I think that's been special. I've lost my chain of thought simply because of just how beautiful that was. Chetan, do you want to carry on?
You know, it was a show-stealing moment. I mean, the match is yet to get underway. She's a little overwhelmed having watched those fighter jets. But let me tell you, I've never seen anything like this before. Flying at a low height and doing acrobatics, you know, the showstopper before the show begins. And I mean, you know, it's going to be a great show today with Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Mohammad Shami, all of them. And of course, can't forget the Australian side. I mean, David Warner, he's so popular amongst the Indian fans. So there's been a show up in the sky, and now it's time for the show on the field at the Narendra Modi Stadium.
Absolutely, thanks for taking over. But yes, as we said, that it's not just Indians that you know, the team that the country is looking forward to. It's also how they are playing against a champion side like Australia. I mean, it's one thing that India ends up winning this final. Of course, we want India to win this final. But if they beat a team like Australia, then that's the cherry on the cake. To beat 5-time world champions, to beat a team that loves to win this World Cup. I'm sorry, they're just going again. And my camera person insists that we go on it, and just when he tries to get them, they go get out of sight. But yes, as we've been saying, it's also the Australian team and what they signify in this World Cup, you know, in the way that they have done well, in the way that they were tottering at the bottom of the points table. When the tournament started, they'd lost to India, they'd lost to South Africa, and it was really the turnaround that they found against Sri Lanka. And at one point, Sri Lanka were, I think, 120 for no loss. But after that, Sri Lanka collapsed, and Australia, just did not look back. And since then, if there's one team that can give India competition in this World Cup, it is Australia. So conditions aside, slow, sluggish, all of that aside, Australians love to fight when they are being pushed into a corner. So it's going to be a cracker of a match. What more can I say?
Oh, absolutely. Look, can't wait for the game to begin. I mean, you know, a lot of people, those two gentlemen, you know, they were talking about 350, getting a one-sided game. You know, it reminded me of the 2003 game. You know, we were talking yesterday in show how Jamie was hurt, how I was hurt. You know, we were kids then. And it just felt like those two guys were also hurt. That, you know, what happened in 2003, 350 and one-sided game. So yeah, the Indian fan. And we heard somebody say Virat Kohli 51st as well. So what's on the ticking checklist today. An Indian win, a one-sided Indian win, and of course a Virat Kohli 51st 100. And like I said, we've already seen showstoppers in the sky. It's time to see some showstoppers on the ground as well.
Absolutely, and with that we're going to wrap this up. But what more can be better than us wrapping this up by saying
Jeetega bhai, jeetega.
India jeetega, or we can also say Chak de India.
Chak de India, yeah, I mean,
go India. And that's what we're all looking forward to. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. We loved bringing it to you. But that's it from Chetan and me and Jamie, who is back in Delhi. That's it from us. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
Literally every major power in the world is gearing up with its own digital currency. And so is India. But India's UPI has taken digital transactions to the next level. So, with UPI already available, what exactly is the use case for the e-rupee?
This and more streaming on world's first news OTT. News9 Plus, download now.
This is the largest attack that the Hamas has ever done onto Israeli soil.
Within 20 minutes, more than 3,000 missiles were fired at Israel, along with vehicle transported